So this is Paranormal Playground with Nick and Leah. Right, so I found a really cool book. I was out in Wisconsin Dells and at the Ripley Believe It or Not Museum, and I found this cool book. Very hard to see, but there you go. It's go that way.
Hidden Headlines of Wisconsin.
Right. And it's all from Strange, Unusual, and Bizarre's newspaper stories from 1816 to 1910. Researched and compiled by Chad Lewis. Okay? So I started looking into this book, and I thought some of these were absolutely hilarious, and then some of them were interesting to know about Wisconsin. And the first one we noticed was the
Spiritualist School.
I cannot talk, like, really.
And it comes from Whitewater. It's Wisconsin to have the first of the kind ever established. And I've talked about Whitewater before, and we are going to cover that together with a different perspective. So this one actually kind of sounds fun.
It is kind of fun because I want you to take me to Whitewater and learn about this stuff, because I know nothing about this whole Whitewater mystery. So it'll be an education for Leah.
Yes. Now, the first distinctively spiritualist school ever founded is to be opened in Whitewater next September. It'll be called the Morris Pratt Institution. By the way, this is actually still, they do still have classes and stuff. They are no longer in Whitewater, though. And to have its quarters in a large brick building erected some years ago by Mr. Pratt, a prominent spiritualist, at the cost of $40,000. Mr. Pratt has deeded the house to a board of trustees and promised to endow the school to the extent of $10,000, provided an equal sum be raised by the Spiritualists of Wisconsin. Psychic science will be taught in addition to regular branches.
The Board of Trustees is made up of Moses Hall of Buffalo, New York, President A.J. Weaver of Old Orchard, Superintendent W.H. Rogers of Madison, Vice President J.C. Bump of Milwaukee, Treasurer Miss Clara L. Stewart, Secretary C.L. Stevens of Pittsburgh, and Elizano Thompson of Nebraska. In addition, the President of the National Spiritualist Association and the President of the Wisconsin Spiritualist Association are members of the board ex facto. The annual state convention of the Wisconsin Spiritualist Association will be held in Milwaukee, April 15 through 17 in Lincoln Hall. Miss Nellie C. Moser of Kent, Ohio, will act as the test medium. Among the speakers will be Moses Hall of La Crosse, Miss McFarland of Milwaukee, and Dr. Wigner of Chicago. Miss Clara L. Stewart, president of the State Association, is here now making arrangements for the convention. This was placed in Milwaukee Journal, March 29th of 1902.
Wow.
Right? Another cute one that I saw here, headline, is pronounced dead, but life returns. Racine, Wisconsin.
Interesting.
Yes. William Johnson, age 15 years, fell from a tree and struck a square on his head, was picked up in an unconscious condition. After working on the boy for over an hour, he was pronounced dead. He showed signs of life sometimes afterwards. Restoratives were applied, and in 20 minutes, the injured lad opened his eyes and asked what happened. Interesting. Milwaukee Journal, July 8th, 1902.
Let's see here. Okay. What do we have next? What did we bookmark next?
It looked like you liked a little bit about...
Oh, this one kind of stuck out at me. It says, old clock stops when owner dies. And this comes from Manitowoc. Charles T. Daubert, pioneer tanner and one of the oldest residents of this city, died at age 78 years last night from the infirmaries of old age. Mr. Daubert died at 4:25, and just at that hour, the family clock, which had been in the Dobert family for 40 years ceased its labors. Mr. Dobert came here more in his youth as a shoemaker and established a tanning plant.
Tanning plant.
Tanning, okay. Which he continued for more than 40 years. He had served as a member of the council, has been on the school board, and was prominent as a businessman in the early years. The family of 5 children, all except one
Are residents of the city.
all except one are residents of the city. Survives him. The funeral will be Wednesday, and this is in the Eau Claire Leader from July 21st, 1909.
What do you think of that? You've had this clock for 40 years and it just stops at the time of your death.
What if you're the children? Like you're dying, right?
Yeah.
You die, and the clock stops. You don't know it stopped.
That is crazy.
But the families, that's got to be creepy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. There's one in Heartland. Thought of end of world had come. A strange light in the northern skies, taken shape of a comet, then various fanciful outlines, and other evening made the superstitious people of this village to believe the end of the world was at its hands. Several families spent the night in chairs with wraps on in fear of the phenomenon. In the morning, it was discovered that the cause was a fire in, was it Hustisford?
Yeah.
This was in the La Crosse Tribune, March 19th, 1908. Imagine thinking that a fire that you can see from a distance is the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh no.
And then, like, this stuff is actually posted in newspapers. That's crazy because I don't think this would make our newspaper today.
No, this would not make the newspaper today. Now, this
is hilarious.
This one's kind of fun. There's actually a second one we can dovetail on.
Yes.
So, boy acts like mad dog. Okay. The headline is kind of funny. So, now this comes from La Crosse. Sheriff Barber was called upon late Saturday night to take charge of a 17-year-old boy named Philip Lynn, who was creating a great disturbance in the neighborhood of 13th, on the neighborhood of 13th and La Crosse streets, by his peculiar actions, similar to those of a mad dog. When the sheriff arrived at the scene, Lynn was being held on the sidewalk by 6 strong husky men. He was snapping and biting everything he saw or he could reach.
Oh.
He was taken to the county jail, where today he was examined by doctors John Rawls and George E. Powell, who found that he was sane and suffered from a cerebral congestion, with all the symptoms of meningitis. He was then taken to the La Crosse Hospital, 1306 Badger Street, where he is now resting easy. It is said that the boy was kicked in the head by a horse a couple of years ago. Of course.
Yeah.
And he also was also sunstruck last year.
A heat stroke.
Oh, that's their term for heat stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Which no doubt are responsible for the present condition. La Crosse Republican leader, July 1st, 1901. Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
And we have a little blurb here at the bottom of the page. It says in 1900, the average life expectancy was 47 years old. So, sir, you would only have a couple years left on this earth.
Man, we both are in short time then.
So, piggybacking off of that one, headline in Racine is Racine man snarls like a dog. Racine, Wisconsin, a man 21 years old living in the city, lies in his home in a precarious condition as a result of having been bitten by a dog 11 years ago. The young man is said to bite and snarl like a dog, and at times it takes the combined efforts of 4 men to hold him. The Milwaukee Journal, October 26, 1901.
Is that the same one? No, same year. And they were
Same
different
year,
ages.
yeah.
They're different ages. Okay. I just figured it was maybe the same
So
case.
weird.
Thought maybe it could be the same case. Okay. And now, this one struck me. I don't know. The title's quite funny.
Yeah.
It says hypnotized into marriage. I wish I had a thing that I could be going back and forth right now. So Ethel Heath, 14 years old, asserted in court that she was hypnotized into leaving her home in Indian Ford County, Wisconsin by Cass LeClaire, who was under arrest on a charge of abducting her. W. F. Heath, her father, after the girl had sent for him, had LeClaire arrested, charging him with abduction. LeClaire admitted his.
I think it's supposed to be saying
guilt.
guilt.
Okay,
Yeah.
after the girl had testified.
June 18th, 1900. So can you hypnotize somebody into marrying you? I mean, I guess so.
Jeez, yeah.
Do you have a celebrity in mind?
Gosh.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go Ewan McGregor if you're interested in hypnosis. I'm just saying.
Okay. I have some metal band front lead ladies that would probably go good.
Spiritualism figures many divorce cases. All right. Here we go. This is a good one, guys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Information received in seances causes many family quarrels with serious results. This is in Milwaukee, my hometown.
I mean, this was common back then.
Yeah.
So,
attorneys said that there had been a noticeable reoccurrence lately of divorce proceedings in which is the cause of marital disagreement has been due to the work of alleged spiritualistic mediums. In its practice, particularly in the northwest part of the city, among the German Americans, for women hold the afternoon gatherings, usually ostensibly, what is that? Cave clatches? Coffee clatches.
Oh, yes.
In which medium is generally present and experiments in spiritualistic phenomenon are the main diversions. So observed in the practice, do the women become... Got it. They talk so differently back then. Here we go. So observed in the practice do women become that they've governed themselves into the accordance with the spiritualist advice received and the domestic discord of the times result. Judge Ludwig, actually he sounds really familiar. I wonder if there's a family tie somewhere. I work in a lot of court systems. So anyway, Judge Ludwig Court has been the theater of divorce proceedings of the sort indicated, and for 3 days the specters' seats have been crowded with housewives, from which was to be called the Wooden Shoe District of the North Side, most of whom were witnesses. The suit for divorce was brought by Fred Mao, a grocer in Buffum and Hadley Streets, who alleged that as a result of neighborhood seances, his wife Elizabeth Mao had become abusive towards him and suspicious as to the intentions towards her. She imagined that he had designs on her life and frequently called him Lutgert. What the heck's a Lutgert? Now we gotta look that up. And similar suggestive names.
Oh my gosh.
He claimed that she had a spiritual information that he had but a year to live, and that she was planning to use to be made of his life insurance of $2,000. Big money back in 1901, just saying. Part of Miss Mao claimed that her husband was cruel to her and had the family appear to have spirits or have split even in the matter, as one of the grown-up sons sat with the father in court while the other occupied a seat besides her mother. A well-known attorney who was present during part of the trial stated that he was personally knew of the 12 recent divorce cases in which spiritualistic features figured. So, Milwaukee Journal, February 2nd, 1901. So, a bunch of seances were telling these housewives some interesting things.
I look up Lutgert and I get names. People.
That's got to be some sort of German, like.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be on a mission to find out what that is.
Yep. Oh, jeez. Okay, one popped up over here.
Which one?
Wife's voice returns.
Result of a dying wish. Fantastic.
The husband of Miss
Philo
M. Pierce, lying at the point of death, expressed the wish that he might hear her voice once again. She had been deprived of speech for 3 months. No comment. Within half an hour, she began to talk to him, and her voice seemed completely restored. Miss Pierce, one of Beloit's pioneers and wealthiest citizens, died last night, age 84.
Okay. So
That was just my daughter walking in. So that noise was the doors.
Okay, so let's get this straight, okay?
Yes.
Dude's dying, and his wife was deprived of speech for 3 months, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then she began to talk.
Is that what killed him?
You were so mean.
There's a fun little blurb here, too, though.
Okay. In 1980, the average income for a family of four...
1890.
Sorry, 1890. I'm tired. A family of four was $380. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more.
Yeah, one more here.
Hold on. Okay, intended bride hypnotized?
Sure.
We can do that one, since we've been talking about that. Friends of Kenosha girl attempting to prevent marriage. In Kenosha, the friends of Miss Marie Watson of the city Kenosha are making every possible effort to prevent her marriage to William Jackson, a bartender who employed at the Power Lake Hotel in this county. Judge Slauson of Kenosha County and Justice Sturgis of the city yesterday refused to marry the couple, and both declared that in their opinion, the girl was under a hypnotic spell. The couple left Powers Lake stating that they were going to Indiana to get married. The Eau Claire leader, August 2nd, 1906. What is up with this hypnosis? All right, Ewan McGregor, seriously? You want to come meet me? Just saying. Apparently there's a power to this hypnosis thing.
Oh, yeah, there has to be. Oh, there's even UFOs.
Oh, of course. We'll have to do like a whole nother short on the UFO headlines.
Well, thank you for listening. And
that was a fun little blurb. We'll have more from Hidden Headlines of Wisconsin, the strange, unusual, and bizarre newspaper stories of the 1860s to 1910.
And join us on June 18th as we premiere our first episode, The Beast of Bray Road. Remember to subscribe and like the page, and you will get notified when that episode premieres.